Hello and welcome to a very unusual LeEdFollow, because I'm not actually in the UK. I'm currently on holiday with my wife in Norway. Now, there are many things to love about Norway. For a start, they're some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet, and the food and drink is fantastic. And I also love the heritage. These little wooden houses, left exactly how they were when they were new, with the cobble streets, all the fantastic outdoor activities that are available for you, jaw-dropping scenery, and it goes without saying, fantastic waterfalls. I could quite easily just talk about Norway's scenery and waterfalls all day long, but that's not what this channel's about. Because this is not a travel channel, this is a channel for cars, bikes and general petrol-head malarkey. However, Norway is not that famous for its cars. It is, however, famous for oil. So today we're in the small town of Stavanger and we're taking a trip to the Norway Petroleum Museum. Now, I know museums can be a bit dull, but I think you may find this interesting. 1969, the rig Ocean Viking find oil 3,000 metres below the seabed. They grab the closest container they can lay their hands on, which happened to be this maple syrup bottle, and they take a sample back to show the rest of the world. Kerching. Looks like a very complicated version of Kaplunk. Now, the unprocessed oil that's pulled out of the ground is referred to as crude oil. Now, this comes out in different thicknesses and consistencies depending on how deep it is and how long it's been there. These are some samples from different oil fields, and at different depths you can see how it affects the thickness of the oil. I mean, this one is like muddy old soup, and then the one in the middle is kind of like old used engine oil. And then the last one is really watery, like old cold coffee. Ooh, this is the kind of thing that a James Bond villain would use. Ever wondered where natural gas comes from? Well, if you dig down deeper through the area which is called the oil window, you end up at the gas window. So how does all the gas and oil get there in the first place? Well, you have to go back hundreds of millions of years ago to the point where there was algae on the bottom of the sea, and that would have absorbed energy from the sun. The next step is for all the dead algae to become trapped under a new layer of sand as the sea moves the seabed around. So over hundreds of millions of years, the layers on top of the algae build up. That puts the algae under huge amounts of pressure, and you mix that with the heat from the Earth's core, which causes the conversion into gas and oil. Now, where have I seen these before? Ah yes, Naked Gun 2.5. So how come Norway has so much oil? Well, that's because Norway sits on what's referred to as the Norwegian continental shelf. It's an area roughly 6 times the size of mainland Norway, and they believe as much as 50% of this area contains oil. So that's an area roughly 3 times the size of mainland Norway that they have the ability to drill for oil. So how much oil do they think they've got down there? Well, they believe if they sucked it all out and put it in a tall, 1/2 kilometre wide steel tube, it would be as tall as Mount Everest. And how exactly did they get it out? Well, we all know they drill it. But that just makes a hole. How do you actually suck out the oil and the gas? Well, as they drill, they push down a steel casing. And as they drill a bit further, they push a slightly smaller diameter one down through the bigger one, and so forth as they go deeper and deeper and deeper. So what you end up with is essentially a gigantic drinking straw. And once they finish drilling, well, they insert a giant plug like this one here. Kind of like a giant version of what you've got in your bathtub. What is it? What's it do? Gold. You ever heard on the news the term the price of a barrel of oil has gone up? Well, that's because oil is measured in barrels. This started in the late 1800s where they were using old bourbon whiskey barrels. There's a joke there somewhere about ice. So drill bits, I guess these ones kind of look like flowers. Ooh, these ones. I've seen these on one of the latest Aliens movies. These kind of all look like broken differentials in various stages of destruction. This one's definitely LSD. Ooh, the big ones. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen these being used by the Americans to lay down the power on the big 1200 horsepower Supras. Model boats. Some more model boats. Don't know what the hell that is. Ooh, this looks good. Wow, a lot of time and effort went into making this. I suddenly have the urge to go out and buy some Lego. So, it's all basically life raft and stuff now, so I think we've seen all the best stuff. So we'll end the video there. Hope you enjoyed it, something a bit different. But thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe as usual, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.